go. We just got control of all 3 hardpoints. Don't let the militia take them back. Waiting.
What's up, Internet? This is Hourglass Gaming, and for today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about ranked play in Titanfall and how it has really changed the way that I play the game. So for anyone who doesn't know, ranked play is currently in beta, came out with update 8. And so right now it is available to Gen 10s and their invites. So when you get on Titanfall, you'll see that you're able to activate your rank chip. And when you do this and enter a game, it says rank chip active. And the little icon in the bottom left of the heads up display will change to be green, and it has little marks in it. And so this is your ranking meter. And so each time you complete tasks tailored to the game type that you're playing, it fills up a little, and when it completely fills up, you're rewarded a battle mark. And so early on, you only need 5 battle marks to go up a tier, but later on, you'll need 6. And so basically there are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond levels, and then each of those has a 1 through 5 tier. And so as you go on, it gets more and more difficult to obtain battle marks. And then if you go a game without earning a battle mark, then your current battle mark gets damaged and you risk losing it if you keep not progressing forward through the ranking. Also, it appears that battle marks degrade every few days, so that if you don't play for a while, then you'll go down in ranking. This hasn't really been an issue with the beta, just because the beta isn't long enough for the battle marks to degrade. However, it will be an issue later on in the game. Also, each Titanfall season is going to be a month long, and presumably when the month is over, then all the rankings will be reset and you'll have to work back up to whatever rank you had achieved in the previous season. I think it's a fairly simple system, but it definitely needs some tweaking. Currently, it's based entirely on individual performance, and sometimes the metric by which it measures your skill is kind of strange. Like in Capture the Flag, you get points for lots of different things. Like you could play a game of Capture the Flag without ever touching a flag, and you would still get a lot of points, which might be indicative of you being a really good midfielder, but it also might be indicative of you just farming kills and not helping your team at all. And then also, it penalizes you for dying. So if you're going hard and trying to get the flag a lot, and then you die in that process a lot, then it's going to penalize you, which I think is a strange way to penalize Capture the Flag players. The other thing is that it's a really individualized performance metric, and I think to some extent this is warranted. FPS games aren't like League of Legends, where there's a clearly defined meta game. You know, you don't have lanes that have specific tasks that players should be doing. You don't have specific classes that are defined for certain roles. It's kind of more open-ended, and a lot of players are kind of just doing their own thing. And so when you jump into a game like League of Legends, then pretty much everyone has a relatively good sense of what they should be doing. But in an FPS game, everyone's just kind of in it together, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And because of this, I don't think it would be fair to rank players based on wins or losses like you do in League of Legends. I think ranking players based on individual performance makes a lot of sense. However, I do think pre-made teams of players should be ranked together as a team in a similar way to how StarCraft did. I haven't played StarCraft in a couple of years, so I'm not sure if the ranking system is still the same. But when I was playing, when you played individually, you got an individual rank, and then when you played with a friend or team, then you got a team rank. So if you jumped into 2v2s, then you and the player you were playing with had a team rank that was specific to you and that player. And I think this would be a good way to implement team ranking in Titanfall, because then if I jump on with one of my friends and we're communicating, then the game judges our performance based on how well we both do, and so it kind of is then catered towards our ability to communicate and coordinate as a team. And then if you're playing a full 6-man team, then you really should be judged based on the team's performance. You know, one player might not get many kills or something because he's in a position that is important to the work of the team, but doesn't necessarily indicate individual finesse. And in this case, I think, with a team of 6, you should be judged on how well you do as a team, because at that level, your ranking should be based on your ability to communicate and coordinate, not just, the Twitch abilities of each player. And so I think that would be a good system to have ranked play be based on teamwork, but also have individuals be ranked on their own individual talent when they're playing by themselves. But how does competitive play feel? So at first, I jumped into attrition, and having the rank chip active turned me into this angry monster. I was always trying to get the kill shot, and I got angry when I got assists, and it drove me nuts to get killed. And so when I was fighting Titans and someone else would get the killing blow, and I wouldn't get the doom, I'd just get the assist, like that made me angry. I would try to doom Titans that other people were fighting, not because I was trying to help them, but just because I wanted the kill. And then if someone killed me, it made me so mad, and I would just want to hurl the controller across the room. And so I was getting really frustrated with the game when I turned on the rank chip and was playing attrition. But then this weekend, I was playing League of Legends with some friends, and one of them said that competitive play should always have an objective and not just be about killing people. And so I went back to Titanfall and I played Hardpoint, and the game completely came alive for me. Instead of the competitive drive making me into this crazy rage monster, it drove me to go all out every game, and I had some truly awesome moments. During the intro clip for this video, I was literally squealing as I reloaded my gun, trying to keep the hard point between myself and my enemy. And then I got that kill, and it felt so good. And then the next guy comes in, and I'm out of ammunition again, and I switch to my wingman, and I take him down. And it was just, I had a lot of moments like that where it was just really fun, and I was trying really hard to survive. And it wasn't just about getting the kill, it was about achieving something else. And so I really fell in love with Hardpoint this week, and I'm kind of disappointed with myself for not playing a Hardpoint from launch. I typically don't like Hardpoint games that much, like in Battlefield or Destiny or Halo. I've always felt like they're kind of campy, and it's like there's one guy sitting on the objective with a shotgun, and when I walk in the room, he's just going to blast me in the face. And it's like, that's not particularly fun gameplay, in my opinion. But I think Titanfall's movement system makes Hardpoint really come alive. And part of that has to do with the number of ways that you can approach a hardpoint from. There were times when like in Swampland, there was a time where I was wall running between trees and then just fell straight down onto an objective. And it's like, something like that is never going to happen in Call of Duty. And so the movement system allows you to approach hardpoints in a lot of different ways. And I think it really makes Hardpoint to a lot of fun to play. It also kind of pushed me to be a better, more analytical Titanfall player. I started really using Titanfall's movement system a lot more. And so in attrition, you kind of just move towards the sounds of gunfire, and it doesn't really matter how quickly you do it. But in Hardpoint, I need to move from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. And so I started figuring out the routes, figuring out what wall running and hopping and zip lines I needed to take to get from one point to another as fast as possible. And so that really pushed me to be a better utilizer of Titanfall's movement mechanics. And then also it added a kind of layer of tactical thought to engagements, because Hardpoint puts you in compromised situations. Like you have to enter a building where you know enemies are, or you have to defend a position that is clearly a nightmare to defend. And it's like, normally in attrition, I would never stand in this position because it's awful. But in Hardpoint, I have to, because that's where the Hardpoint is. Or I would never enter a building like that because it's a terrible idea. But Hardpoint makes you, because you need to go take the Hardpoint. And so that kind of added a layer of, how do I approach this situation? How do I survive assaulting this building? Which I think made the game a lot more fun. It made me kind of think about what I was doing rather than just relying on kind of my ability to outgun my opponent. So in general, I just really enjoyed Hardpoint, and I'm glad that ranked play came out and kind of made me come to this realization, because it really has made the game a lot more fun. And I loved Titanfall before, but now I'm just so excited about it. So yeah, that is kind of my opinions on ranked play and where I think it should go. some information on what it's been and how it's changed how I played. But what do you guys think? Are you excited that a competitive drive was added into Titanfall? Has participating in the ranked beta changed the way that you play the game? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more gameplay and commentary, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.